Good morning. Today we will be discussing a very important topic, that is chyluria. This we will discuss in two parts. In the part 1, definition, etiology, pathophysiology, clinical features and investigations. In part 2, we will be discussing treatment part. So therefore, please do not forget to subscribe the channel so that as soon as part 2 comes, you get the notification. The question is, what is chyluria? And before going to chyluria, let us see a case scenario to better understand. A 40-year-old thin-built female from Gonda, Uttar Pradesh presents with history of white-colored urine for last 2 years. She had 2 episodes of retention of urine with passage of white clots. When she was examined in the outdoor, she was having anemia, bilateral pedal edema, and abdominal examination of that lady was normal. Now the question arises, what is the provisional diagnosis? How you will correlate the clinical picture? And ultimately, how you will manage, means how you will investigate and how you will treat. All these answers are to be answered during this lecture. Whatever I am telling you, the facts have been taken from Bailey and Love, Short Practice of Surgery, 27th edition, the Campbell Walsh Urology book, 12th edition, and some issues of the Indian Journal of Urology, as well as from online platform, that is the clinicaluptodate.com. It is available in our university. What is chyluria? The chyluria is passage of chyle in urine. Why? Because of reflux via fistulous communication producing milky white urine. Means what? There is development of connection between lymphatic channels and urine collecting system. Because of that, the chyle refluxes into the urinary tract, passes through, and it gives white color. It is secondary to lymphatic stasis, of course. Whether there is some abdominal pressure or whether there is some obstruction at the lymphatics, there will be, due to lymphatic stasis, there will be dilation. And usually, whenever there is a chyluria, it is associated with loss of protein, that is proteinuria, and loss of blood, that is hematuria. We should discuss what is the etiology. The etiology, mainly they are parasitic causes, but there could be non-parasitic causes also. Amongst the parasitic causes, most common is Bouchereria bancrofti, that is the filariasis. Apart from that, the other common causes, the parasitic causes are Brugia species, maybe Malayi or Timori. While in the non-parasitic causes, the common ones are tuberculosis, tumors, trauma, and sometimes in the transient, chyluria may be present during pregnancy also. So all these things have to be taken care of when we are looking at the patient of chyluria. This picture has been taken from internet, and I am thankful to McGraw Hills and I asked them to allow me to include this picture during my presentation. As you can see, what is happening in this picture. You have got 2 lumbar trunks joining from below, forming the cisterna chyli, and then it goes into thoracic duct. While there is a formation of the cisterna chyli, the lymphatics from the intestinal tract, they are also draining into. That means what? You have to understand here, from where chyle is coming. The chyle is basically coming from intestine. Whatever fat we are eating, that goes into the intestine, and from the intestine that is absorbed and comes into the blood, and from blood it goes into the lymph, and lymph it goes into the urine through regurgitation. So there are 2 theories, the obstructive theory and regurgitative theory. The obstructive theory tells that there is some obstruction in the flow of lymph above, and that obstruction leads to dilation of lymphatic channels. Whenever this lymphatic channel dilates, the valve which are responsible for unidirectional flow, they fall apart and there is regurgitation also. When this dilation exceeds, there is fornicial rupture, we will take up it later, and that leads to chyluria. So that means there is obstruction to lymphatic channel as well as there is regurgitation of lymph. These two theories, they work. Now if you see systematically in this slide, because of the inflammation due to dying worm or the toxin which are released, there is lymphatic obstruction. As I told you, whenever there is lymphatic obstruction, there is a dilation of the tract and the valve do not function, and there is lymphatic regurgitation from proximal to distal part. All these leads to lymphangiular dilation and tortuosity. Then this lymphatic dilatation, it is in communication with the pelvic calyceal system of the kidney, and there is a rupture of the fornix, from where the lymph regurgitates into the urine collecting system. There is a leakage of lymph, and then what we see is chyluria. That is all the pathophysiology is. And you can very well imagine, when the chyle is being passed through the urine from blood, from lymph, then the protein is also lost. If protein is lost, then naturally there will be protein loss of the body that will lead to debility, and you must be remembering our case, the thin male, thin female. And the patient was having malnutrition. Because of the protein loss, because of the malnutrition, there will be reduced immunity. And whenever you have got the protein loss because of the hypoalbuminemia, there will be generalized anasarca, and that you have observed in our case, that patient was having bilateral pedal edema. We talk about the incidence. Usually the chyluria is disease of young persons, and if you look into the sex ratio, male to female ratio is 1:1. But if you compare the side, it is more common on the left side as compared to right side. And most common cause is filariasis. Out of that filariasis, the most common cause is Vauchereria bancrofti in the 90% of the cases. And if you talk globally, then 2/3 of the filarial patients, they reside in China, India, Indonesia and Sri Lanka. 2/3 population of the world. It is that serious problem. And in India, if you see, it is commonly seen in the eastern side of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Assam, Odisha, Tamil Nadu state. And as you have seen in our patient, she was belonging to Gonda district of Uttar Pradesh, that happens to the eastern part of the Uttar Pradesh. It has been seen that out of all the filaria patient, 2% patient, they develop chyluria. How this patient presents? As I told you, you must have seen in the case scenario, patient usually complains of passing milky white urine. It may or may not be associated with UTI, that is urinary tract infection. This chyle gets clotted, and this clot may be obstructing the ureteric passage, may give rise to ureteric colic. There could be some backache. Even the clot may come into the bladder and it may obstruct the urethra, may lead to retention of the urine. And that you must be remembering our case scenario, the patient had 2 episodes of retention of the urine. Subsequently, because of the loss of protein, because of the loss of blood, patient will be anemic, patient will be debilitated, decreased immunity and general anasarca in prolonged cases. You can clinically grade chyluria into 3 grades. The grade 1, when there is milky urine only, that's all. That is grade 1, early grade. Grade 2, when there is passage of clots That means there is so much reflux of the chyle into the urine that there is a clot formation. And the grade 3 is hematochyluria. That means the chyluria is associated with passage of blood also. Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. You must be wondering that if patient is having white colored urine, then all patient might be having chyluria. No, it is not. There are so many causes of white colored urine. Patient may come to you, ki Dr. Sahab, I am passing white colored urine. So all the cases of white colored urine are not chyluria. What could be the other causes? The other causes could be gross pyuria, passage of pus. And because of the pus passage, patient may be saying my urine is cloudy or white colored. Patient may be having phosphaturia, amorphous phosphate. They are in such a huge number and they give the white color. Whenever, sometimes what happens, when the patient is catheterized for a very long period, the catheter, the efflux of the urine becomes absolutely white, and that is not because of chyle, that is because of the amorphous phosphate. Then patient may be having high degree of albuminuria. Patient is a patient of nephrotic syndrome and passing large amount of albumin, and that can give rise to cloudy colored urine or a white colored urine. Then sometimes the renal tuberculosis, the caseous necrosis that bursts into the collecting system, and that whole of the pus, the tubercular pus passes through the urine, and that is due to tuberculosis. Sometimes the lipiduria secondary to fat embolism, of course that is rare, but that can give rise to white colored urines. You have to really investigate whether we are dealing with chyluria or other causes of white colored urine. Now we will come to the management. Management involves two things: investigations and treatment. Again, investigations, you have to go logically in 4 steps. Number 1, the first step is you have to confirm that I am dealing with chyluria through investigations. Once you have confirmed, then you have to localize the site and side from where this chyle is coming. That is step number 2. The step number 3 is then you have to find the etiology. What is the cause? And of course, the 4th step will be that what are the ill effects of this chyluria on the body, nutritional ill effects. Now you talk about the first step, that is the confirmation whether it is a chyluria or not. So one very simple test is gross examination. You ask the patient to pass urine into a test tube, keep it for some time, and after some time you will find that there is development of 3 layer. That is what is known as 3 layer test. The upper one is because of the chylomicron, white color. The middle one will be a clear sort of urine, and the lowermost will be debris, all the epithelial cells, the RBC if the patient is having hematochyluriا. So that means when you will keep the urine of the chyluria patient for some time in a test tube, you can easily see the 3 layers, and that is test number 1. Then the second test is ether test. Means what? This fat, the chyle, what is chyle? Chyle is a fat. It is soluble in ether. So when you mix equal amount of urine with equal amount of ether, you shake it well, then it becomes clear, as you can see on the right side. So this becomes clear on mixing with ether, that is ether test. Normal, otherwise all other causes of white colored urine, they will not be there. They will not give the positive test. Then if you look under microscope, especially with dark background illumination, or you are staining with the Sudan 3, that Sudan 3 is a stain that stains the chylomicron with pink color. And then you can see under microscope and you can find out, yes, this is a chyluria. If you are in doubt, you can give fat, that means in the form of 100 gram of butter or 10 grams of 100 gram of butter. छोड़ देना, ये हटा देना, ठीक है. If you are doubtful about the diagnosis, patient says that yes, I am passing white colored urine, but when you examine white colored urine, patient examine the urine is normal. what you need to do? You will ask the patient to take 10 gram of butter and mix with 100 milligram of Sudan red, and after 3 to 6 hours the color of urine turns pink, as you can see in the middle water. So if it is coming like that, that means the patient is a case of chyluria. Moreover, even if patient is not having white colored urine, but there will be presence of urinary triglyceride in all the patient, and that test is 100% sensitive and specific to chyluria. So in all the patients, you need to do urinary triglyceride. If they are present, that means patient is having chyluria. Now second step will be localization. Once you are confirmed that now I am dealing with a patient of chyluria, you have to, as I told you, it is more common on the left side. So you have to localize what is the site and what is the side of that, and for that you need to do cystoscopy. As you can see in the diagram on the left side, that while doing cystoscopy, the jet of white urine is being passed from the left side. As in this patient, as you can see, patient is passing urine from both the ureteric orifices. So sometimes it is a bilateral also. So through cystoscope, you will pass the cystoscope, you will keep looking at the ureteric orifice, and then as soon as the urine comes out, you can differentiate, or you can come to know from which side of the kidney of the system the chyle is coming. Then after you have confirmed that this side the chyle is coming, you will go for RGP. RGP is retrograde pylography. That means what? You will pass in a ureteric catheter through cystoscope, and then you will push the radiopaque, instill the radiopaque dye. You will not actually exactly push, you will instill the radiopaque dye. And then as you can see in the picture of the middle, the renal pelvises, they are visible, the calyces, they are visible, pelvis is visible, and then you can see the extravasation of, or the regurgitation of the dye in the black color going into the lymphatics. So you can know, yes, this is the side of kidney what we are dealing with. Then you can have lymphoscintigraphy, that is the DTPA scan, or lymphangiography. Lymphangiography nowadays is not being routinely done, but yes, suppose you want to know about the destruction of the lymphatic tract, whether it has happened or not, then the lymphoscintigraphy giving DTPA scan, the technetium 99, and then you assess that about the lymphatic destruction. But in the most of the cases, cystoscopy and RGP is sufficient. But yes, if you wish to know about the anatomy of the lymphatic system, you have to go for the advanced investigations. Then the third step is you have to find the etiology. I told you the most common etiology is filariasis. So you have to really find the filarial etiology first. By doing the hematological examination, the microfilary, you have to look for the microfilary, you have to look for the absolute eosinophil count, you have to go for the ELISA test, that is what we call as a phyla test, and that is 85% specific and 95% sensitive. CFA, that means this phyla test basically determines the antibodies. But if you see the circulating filarial antigen CFA, this is basically the gold standard for diagnosing the Vauchereria bancrofti. So that you have to do, you can do, and you should do whenever you are differentiating filarial versus non-filarial chyluria. After you have done those tests, then you have to look, especially in India, you have to look for the tuberculosis. And for this you need to do X-ray, chest, antibody, the PCR, all the battery of tests to prove about the tuberculosis. The pregnancy, of course, the urine test, if uterus is just pressing over the lymphatic system. There could be some mass in the abdomen or in the chest. For that you need to do ultrasound or the CT scan, and that CT scan can be plain CT scan or contrast enhanced CT scan. Then comes the fourth step. That means what could be the possible ill effects of chyluria on the body. So you have to examine the hemoglobin. It could be low because of the hematuria. Serum proteins, again, it could be low because of the passage of the protein. Serum, especially serum albumin, Ag ratio. You have to find out the immunity status by doing the various types of antibodies. And As you know, when there is a loss of fat, then there is a loss of fat soluble vitamin A, D, E and K. So you can measure these fat soluble vitamin to know about the vitamin deficiency. All these investigations are done to diagnose, to determine the site and site, and to know about the ill effect of this disease. Now again you look at this case scenario. 40-year-old thin-built female from Gonda, Uttar Pradesh, presents with history of white-colored urine for 2 years. She had 2 episodes of retention of urine with passage of white clots. On examination, patient is anemic, there is a bilateral pedal edema, and abdominal examination is within normal limits. What is your provisional diagnosis? Means you are sitting in outdoor. What first thing comes to your mind? First thing comes to your mind is chyluria. Now it is clear. It is not pyuria, because pyuria will be associated with fever. More of the symptoms of the UTI will be there. How will you correlate the clinical picture? 40-year-old thin patient is debilitated. Coming from Gonda, that means eastern side of the Uttar Pradesh. Present with history of white colored urine. I told you there could be so many causes, but the most common cause which comes to our mind without any other symptom is chyluria. For 2 years, and she had 2 episodes of retention. Why? Because patient was passing clots, and because of that there was retention. So which grade? Grade 1 is only chyle. Grade 2 is when there is clotted chyle. So this is a grade 2 patient. On examination, anemia is there because the patient might be losing blood, which is not visible. The bilateral pedal edema, yes, because of the hypoalbuminemia, loss of protein. And in this patient, there is no abdominal lump, there is no pregnancy, so the abdominal examination is normal. If you have got any question till now, you can write in the chat box, and definitely I will be very happy to answer them. In the upcoming next video, we will be having part 2, and that part 2 we will be dealing with treatment. The treatment philosophy, that means you have to treat the cause, whatever the etiology is, treat the chyluria itself by doing so many operative, non-operative procedures, and then you have to follow up the patient and give supportive care. We will discuss in part 2. Till then, please study from your book, from these learning resource material, what we have told, and then we will be meeting with second video after some time. Thank you.